It started with a Mica Airbnb and a vision.
Because I don't want to like just emphasize the office, like, oh, it's all about the office. For me, the office is going to be concentrated on the agent. It's all about the agent.
I think that's how we build. That was always our thing.
No sponsors, no studio, just real conversation.
What's going on with real estate? What's happening? Is it a good time to buy? Should I buy? Trump is in the office. The world is ending. Yeah. People get worried. The stock market crashed.
You know what ruined the world, guys? And it sucks that I'm gonna say this because we're doing it right now.
No, don't worry.
It's fucking social media. It completely changed the world as we know it in every aspect. Like, I was lucky enough to meet my wife through a mutual friend at a bar. Yes. Nowadays, you're not seeing that element. The personal element has gone away. Now it's everything through
it's convenient.
phones
It's convenient. Like, people want to be empowered.
From real estate deals to restaurant kitchens to aldermen and politicians.
Lately, the past 5 years, a lot of, I call them my little abuelitas, they're moving. Yeah. They're getting pushed out. What do you think? Is it good for the community? Is it bad?
When we think about what Humboldt Park has turned into, I always say it's sort of the double-edged sword of community building. We have made Humboldt Park so attractive, people want to live here now.
Greg and Frank sat down with some of the most impactful business owners and entrepreneurs in Chicago.
Oh, come on, man. We got to get going. We've been waiting for Toto forever. Is he here? I think he's here.
The movers, the shakers, the ones building this city block by block. 49 episodes later, we've heard stories that inspired, perspectives that challenged, and laughs that kept us coming back. This isn't just a podcast anymore. It's a platform. Welcome to episode 50. This one's for the listeners, the guests, the day ones, and the hustle and grit that got us here.
You're gonna need somebody like me.
All right, everybody. We got a special episode number 50, XR Podcast, and two great guests here. We're really excited to have Alan Stern and Francesco Gagucciolo, right? Gagucciolo.
Yeah.
See?
Thank you.
Got
You
it
said
right.
that perfect. You said that perfect.
I've been
Thank you.
rehearsing.
Episode 50, Frank.
Yeah. 50. This is our 50th, so it's been good.
I mean, who better in episode 50 to get AI guy?
More than AI, he's Mr. Branding. I know you're big on branding, so that's his thing. It's about branding. AI is just a branch of that, if I understand correctly, Alan.
You started off just grateful for the opportunity to jam out with you guys for a little bit.
Oh,
So
great.
appreciate
Well,
the opportunity,
thanks for coming.
A little bit about my backstory. Past 2 decades have consisted of me owning a DJ company, which I still do, and selling cars. 2 completely unrelated fields. The one thing that they have in common, though, is the fact that I had to learn how to make the phones ring without spending any money. So in the midst of doing that, I decided to start teaching it, started a business out of accident, and proud to say I retired from the car business last year and went full throttle with it.
Oh, wow. So you sold cars for how long?
About 15 years. A little over half of that was in the domestic world. So I used to work for a Chevy dealership in Glenview, then moved into the luxury world in 2017. Very different buyers, very different needs in the market, and decided to start teaching salespeople how to market themselves, which is now made possible because of AI.
Did you start training them too?
Not for the dealership, no.
Okay.
More so solopreneurs, so
Okay.
your realtors, loan officers, insurance agents, speakers, coaches, the solopreneurs, in other words, that are usually too small for agencies to work with.
Okay.
So what used to have to happen is marketing agencies, they're not bad people. They're smart business people, but in business, the most important person is the customer. The most powerful person is the one who can create that customer.
Yep.
And unless you know how to do that for yourself, you're simply relying on other people's efforts. The agency doesn't usually want to work with the salesperson. They'd rather get the big retainer and work with the whole business, which means if you're a commission-based salesperson, you just have to learn how to do your own marketing.
I mean, we know about that, right, Frank? Talking about the marketing? Yeah. I mean, we're doing it every day.
Yeah, everything's marketing, and we always talk about, like, everyone you meet could be a client. It might not be this year, it might not be next year. So even when you're not thinking about it, you're thinking about it.
I feel like now in these days, going back to, and sorry, I don't want to, sorry if you guys were moving on to the next topic, but going back to that, like you're your own media company. If you're in sales and you're there to make a commission and you're in the people business, you're becoming your own media company.
You're becoming your own brand, right? You have to show people what you are, what you do, what you offer, what your services are.
Yep.
And you're providing something to somebody, but you're proving to them what you have available to yourself.
That's right.
Like what you do and what they're going to expect from you and what you're going to give to them. So you're creating your own brand.
Yeah. Yes. We were talking off cameras with Francesco and the mortgage guy. Do you have, talking about brand, sorry, now I'm going back to brand. Do you have a certain slogan? Like, I'm Greg the Realtor, that's my brand. Do you have
No,
like, what
no
are you,
particular
Francesco?
slogan. So I'm Francesco. I'm
Cacocho?
Cacucciolo. Cacucciolo. We're gonna get it.
I'm joking.
Brand, I have multifaceted, right? I grew
Okay.
up in construction, so my backstory is my journey. I guess how I got to where I'm at right now is I grew up in construction.
Okay.
My parents put me through construction. My father had a business.
Yeah.
My father-in-law had a business. So I learned from the ground up to work very hard and
Yeah.
long hours. But I didn't know what to do as I was graduating high school. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I went to college for a little bit, and in between that, I decided to go and take a real estate course at College DuPage. That's how I really got into real estate.
Wow.
Did real estate. Now I switched gears in life, and I wanted to learn more about the financing world of real estate.
I mean, when we're doing real estate, if you're willing to learn and have knowledge, you should learn about the finance too, right? You should know ins and outs, at least the basics about
There's
finance.
a lot of benefits to it. I mean, for me, I've learned many things that even some realtors, even today, don't understand how
Correct.
to structure a deal.
Correct.
And it really benefits the consumer more
Yes.
than it does me, because I can actually help guide them the right way and say,
Yep.
hey, because there's really good loan officers, right? Just like there's really good realtors. And there's really bad loan officers, like there is really bad realtors, right?
Yes.
So, and I say that with all due respect, because some people just don't do it fluently.
Yeah.
Right? If you do 1 to 3 deals a year, it's not that you're bad, you're just not practicing it enough.
Yeah.
And when you start doing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 deals a year, such as yourself, right?
Yeah.
You become very fluent, and it becomes second nature. And you're able just to continue moving through your day and, hey, how do I solve the next problem, the next consumer's problem? You have a solution for them. Sometimes some people don't have the right solution, give them wrong advice, and now you've just put the consumer in a bad spot. And unfortunately, it's not anyone's particular fault, but you're hurting them instead of really helping them.
You are.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just being with the experience. You don't crack under the pressure because
Right.
it gets hairy sometimes in this
Yeah.
industry. Sometimes you have people that have a truck loaded and everything goes south. They're looking to you, and if you lose your composure, then it's
They're relying on you.
Yeah,
You're their
so-
guidance. you're their true north. You should be giving them the direction that they should be going. And if you don't give them that advice and can't structure it properly for them, then
You got to be able to take on the pressure. If you're in the real estate business, you got to be able to take on the pressure and the stress and all the emotions that go up and down for the client.
right.
I had an example yesterday. I met this lady. She's a repeat client, and she's going through some struggle. So she had to sell she had to sell a long time ago her house to buy a townhome, and now she had to sell her townhome to buy a condo. She was so emotional. She canceled a couple times, and she was gonna call it quits, everything, right? A bunch of times. But that's where I was there to take on all the pressure, And there's decisions she made where we got canceled, and it was our fault, right?
True.
And she was blaming herself, but I had to make sure, listen, it's not your fault, it's a state. You know what I mean? I had to take on all the pressure, the yelling from the attorney, the other realtor. I'm not going to blame the client, ever. Never. Even if it's our fault. But I'm never going to make them feel like it was their fault. And she feels bad, like it was my fault. I'm like, no, don't worry. It wasn't meant to be. And then we moved on, and now she bought a place. She's happy. She was so happy yesterday when I met her. But if I wasn't able to maintain that pressure and take all the heat, she would have, who knows, maybe she would have lost her house. It would have gone bankrupt, or they would have been in a worse situation. And then I would have still not make no money. So let's talk,
But ultimately, it's not so much that you didn't make any money. You gave her the right guidance.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You supported her. You mentored her. You gave her the information. You educated her.
If
right?
you do good, the right guidance, do good education, the money will come.
Yeah.
I never think about the money transaction. It will come automatically.
And she's grateful for that. Actually,
100%.
Those are the deals that
Yeah.
you do willingly, saying, "Hey, I don't want to make any money
Yeah.
on this. I want to do this for you just to make sure that you have a house to live
Yep.
in. Just want to make sure that you're satisfied and happy, because she's a customer for life,
Yep.
right? She'll call you. She'll
Yep.
tell 100 people
Yep.
what you did for her. But
100%.
at the same token, you don't do that for somebody. They'll tell 100 people what you didn't do for them too.
See, this is the thing, because that's old school. Realtors should have done that for years and years and years. But now, a lot of realtors are getting lost in the process in this new world of AI, this new world of robots coming, that I think is coming. Frank probably doesn't. But we're going to buy some. Don't
I
worry.
think that's a really good topic that you just brought up.
Yes.
And I'm sorry if I didn't.
Yeah, no.
If the old, and I don't want to say old way, and there's a new way with real estate.
Yes.
Can we talk about the attrition of realtors that are leaving the industry because they're not following the new way?
Yeah.
Right? And how can you educate realtors today on how to be, what you're doing right now?
That's why we have Alan.
For sure. Just segue. And what a perfect segue here, too. The reality is there's certain old school things that will just never not work. Before people buy from a brand, they buy from a person who represents a brand. Like, all of this AI stuff is cool, but when the whole world zigs, huge opportunity to zag. Best example that I can give you is during COVID. Bad service became the norm in the restaurant industry. In the restaurant industry for a whole bunch of reasons, which meant if you go out to a restaurant during the height of COVID and you get great service, most people weren't tipping 20%, they were tipping 30, 50, 70, 100%. So huge opportunity to zig when the market zags. Now, for those reasons, all that is going to make more valuable is the human connection. And one of the reasons why I love following your content is because you really show your personality in your marketing to the point where somebody may have not met you in person yet, but they see what you post, one of these funny reels, and they say, you know what? I may not need his service now, but if I was in the market, he seems like the kind of guy that I would enjoy working with. So now all of a sudden what happens is you'd be able to create a connection.
Yep.
Now, before we were talking about this off camera, certain things will never go away. Certain things in this world about presenting yourself on screen and online a certain way, if it does not match who you are as a person, in person, now there becomes a lack of trust. Yeah. If you're one way over here and you're the other way in person, now all of a sudden people are like, hey, do I trust this guy?
Then you're playing a script, right? You're playing like a movie, and I see a lot of people there too, because that's wrong too, where you're playing, this freaking script, like you're playing a movie all day long, and then you meet in person and you're a completely different person.
Yeah,
Sure.
or
that's weird.
Or you're like the know-it-all online, and then you get, when the bullets are flying, you're like, they're asking you questions, and you're fumbling, you don't know the answer.
And that's the good thing. I know we have you, and you're a big fan of ChatGPT. That's the good and bad about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Get the answer from ChatGPT, but learn the answer. Just don't just do copy and paste.
For sure.
And then you don't know what the freaking you're talking about when they meet you in person. Then you're going to lose your credibility.
100%. And just going back to what we were talking about, certain things will never go away, like the fact that people do business with those who they know, like, and trust. You can have the perfect product or service. You can be exactly what I'm looking for, but I can't buy from you unless I know that you exist. So we have to find a way to get the word out. Yeah. The challenge becomes, on average, we see somewhere between 4,000 and 10,000 ads every single day. Yeah. So half of the battle marketing is getting noticed. The other half is simply getting remembered. But what's interesting, and this is where when you blend humor and advertisement together, when people laugh, they tend to remember what made them laugh. My guess is anybody who's watching this probably forgot the majority of the stuff that you learned K through 12, maybe even in college. But you likely remember a funny story that one of your teachers told you. Why? Because when we laugh, we remember what made us laugh. So that's why when you show your personality by using humor in your marketing, so powerful. And what's better now about AI is you can get the ideas from something like ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, whatever it is that you're using. And then you make it your own. Yeah.
Because I feel like I've seen some agents too, I'm talking about the real estate world, right? And probably this in a lot of different sectors, but it's like there's ones that don't do nothing, right? They're secret agents.
The 70-30 rule?
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got ones that are doing a little bit too much. So I'm not saying mine is perfect my way. My way probably needs improvements too. But too much, and then it becomes too fake. Like I noticed the fake. I'm like, this is like something you looked up and you're like,
Well, you're just using it as a stepping stone, right? You're not taking any information from it directly. You're just getting ideas. And I think we all need good ideas, right? So you use ChatGPT just to expand the idea you already currently have.
Okay.
So it's originally your idea, so you're not really doing anything unless you're just taking the content directly, like you said, copy and paste.
I'm trying to figure out where we're going.
Then I would say that's cheating, right?
I'm just figuring out where we're going, because if we're going all fake, then maybe I'll just become an AI image. No. I'll become an AI image, I'll put it online, and I'll let the AI talk.
That's it. You don't have to do anything anymore.
Yeah, I'll go to Sicily and stay at the beach,
It's hilarious. Always keep it real. Again, before people buy from a brand, they buy from a person. Give me an example. We're all high energy individuals here. Yeah. we all have our own personalities, which means if we were to go ahead and publish an article or write a post and it looks like a Harvard professor wrote it on LinkedIn, now all of a sudden somebody's going to see it and they're going to say, yeah, AI wrote that. So always, always, always get the idea from AI and then make it your own. Because if it doesn't sound like you, people could realize it. We're at a point where I think we can all recognize if we see something that was written and there's way too many emojis on it, we already know that AI wrote it. Now, on the other hand, let's say that somebody sends an email and the first thing that they see is, I hope this email finds you well. Usually it's a good indicator that ChatGPT wrote it. So always make it your own.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting the next phase of the world where everything's going, you know? I mean, we're like in an age where we've kind of seen it all, right? I think, Alan, you're a little younger than us. We've seen like where, you know, flip phones, right? We didn't have that much. I had, like, when I was growing up, I had no internet. I'm not a good typer. I cannot type. Because I grew up in Italy, and the class was once a month. And this, I'm talking about high school. It was once a month. I didn't learn to type. I didn't even know how to use the internet, browser, nothing.
You were
Zero.
born in Italy. Where in Italy were you born?
I got a strange story. Born here, but then I left when I was a kid, and I grew up out there. My education's there. Yeah, but I'm from Sicily.
I was here, right? The first time I saw internet, I was maybe 17.
Yeah, you see?
And it was actually at Triton. My brother was there, and they had like some festival, and they had all these computers set up in a tent. And I'm like, what's this? Like, oh, it's the internet. And it was like, this stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, think about, sorry to interrupt you, but think of that. We went from no internet, no computer,
no phone.
Now I got a freaking tool here that's like so powerful. Like, we went to the moon, and not even the President Reagan had like this kind of tool. The computer wasn't this strong.
Do you think technology is moving too fast?
It's moving fast? No, I don't think it's too fast.
I mean, I remember hearing that when I was in high school, like how fast it was moving. But
I mean, it's okay. I mean, we gotta adapt. You know, it's the world. You know, some people like, you know, might be like, even in my own family, my wife is like against, like, oh my God, too much technology, it's a sin. I'm like, calm down. I'm like, God made us intelligent. He could have made us like the other species, like a cow, and we would never evolve. He made us to evolve. That's it. I don't know what the next thing is. As long as we use it in a good way.
For sure.
But I think we have gone so fast. And it's like, and us, we have experienced everything. We have experienced no internet to now it's like robots are coming. You know?
Absolutely, man. And to just paint
autonomous driving, you got cars that drive themselves. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and to just paint a contrast on this, if you really think about it, in the history of the world, things have never moved this fast. The scary part is they'll never move this slow again. So in a whole world full of automation, what really stands out is the personal touch. Give me an example. We get hit every single day with robocalls, email blasts, text blasts, whatever it is. But the second somebody sends us a handwritten note in the mail, we're keeping that.
It's a mix. You got to find that right balance.
Instantly gratified though too, right? Because you want an immediate response. Because everything you want is you have to have it now. Right? Like, oh, I can go to my phone, I can send the message. I need an immediate response. Or go to ChatGPT, you get an immediate response. We're breeding this new environment that if we don't get that response right away, how do we feel?
But also, Alan, going contra, kind of like debating you on that too, like the personal touch. I think that's going to work for our generation and maybe the one before. But like my kids, I don't know. And I don't know if their kids are going to need it. Because now they're growing up differently from us. They're growing up, they have, you know what I mean? They have these phones, they have internet, they have instant gratification all the time. Yeah, they're not really big on it.
It might get dull though.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, people that just don't want to.
We thought the cars were going to get dull and horses were going to come back. Look at this. I don't think. Well, look outside.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone ever thought that. The thing now is people want experience, like all the entertainment is more experience stuff. It's not just.
What about the support side? And here's a great example, and I think this is kind of universal here. Let's say that we have an issue with the product. It could be a phone, it could be a piece of technology that you bought, whatever it is, and you call a number for support. Here's the usual process. First off, you're put on hold. You have to go through a series of menus, whether it's press 1 for English, whether it's press 2 for blank, whatever it is. You have to go through this process. Meanwhile, the one thing that's really on your mind is, what do I have to do to talk to an actual person right now to solve this problem? So if you take a look at the state that people are in when they actually need support, I think that personalized touch will never go away. It might even get more valuable. However, the accessibility factor becomes an issue. Because when you have AI that can troubleshoot 24 hours a day and you don't have to talk to anybody, and you can maybe do a screen share or whatever it is with a bot in whatever time frame that looks like. It could change it, but I think the guidance, kind of what we were talking about earlier, will be safe.
Unless it'll go back to, this is my crazy, talk, nothing to do with even business. It goes back like where AI helps us so much, robots, and then we have more time. And we have more time to go take a walk or to spend time with the family. You know what I mean? Versus we're not on the phone doing a troubleshooting or, working like crazy. Maybe our days are 5 hours.
More,
yeah.
Enjoy more exploring what you like to do more than just going to do what
And
the
I wouldn't be
computer can do.
surprised one day the robots are going to spin it like that. They're going to sell us that. We get more time with the family, and that's why you should buy one.
Cartoon Wall-E.
You know what I mean?
You ever watched the cartoon Wall-E?
Yeah.
So I Greg debate this all the time with real estate. So you sold cars before.
Yep.
So what was that like? Because our thing is like when we sell houses, every house is different. There's not one that's the same. They could be built the same, but the finishes are different. A car, a 2000 whatever, you're at the Chevy dealer. 2017 Impala, 2017 Impala. So what's set apart of different car salesmen? Why would some do better? Why can't they just put a sticker on it and you just pay it and that's it?
This is such a good question, man. So when it comes to new cars, it's very easy to get commoditized unless you sell yourself in a certain way. Used is a little bit different because each one is different. One could be a smoker's car, one can have new set of tires, one can have a bad Carfax. So there is some uniqueness about used. Now, if you really want to create a market of one, you have to work on your personal brand. And I'll share with you what I did in the car business. So success for me never looked like spending 50 to 60 hours a week at a car dealership trying to convince a stranger who doesn't know, like, or trust me to part with tens of thousands of dollars on repeat. Yeah. It's exhausting. So how did I do that? I went out into the marketplace and really got involved with Chamber of Commerce's and local networking groups because my clientele that I wanted to focus in on were business owners. Why? Because now I have somebody on speed dial for everything, and they're usually the ones that are more relationship focused. So I asked myself, well, what does a business owner want? What do they value the most? They value their time. If you can't come to me for a test drive, I'll bring it to you. Yep. I'll do a driveway drop-off, bring the paperwork to you, and Uber it back. Now I'm a market of one. Let's say that you have a business owner or somebody who's a solopreneur with an LLC. Now all of a sudden comes tax time, they're looking for expenses. If I say, hey, instead of you buying this RX 350 back when I was with Lexus, that's 50 grand, why don't you go up into a GX, which has a gross weight rating of over 6,500 pounds, title it in your business name, now it's a huge write-off. I've just over-delivered on value.
Yep.
So that's how you become a market of one, but getting back to it, that's only possible with the human touch.
But that's like, you're like the 1% of the car salespeople.
That's the best part.
I'm just saying. Most of the car people, I just bought a car for my wife, and it was like, I was trying to explain, sorry to interrupt you. I was trying to explain them about, hey, they could not read who I was. I mean, listen, I don't have time, this and that. I'm like, I'm here, don't worry, I trust you. Just work with me, I need this, this, and that. And it was like, they just had a script. They were like following a script, just a quick sale. They didn't even look me up.
Well, I love that you bring this up. So let me get back to the whole concept. When the whole world zigs, huge opportunity to zag. If you were to go on Google right now, feel free to fact check me on this. Go on Google and type in what percentage of the world dislikes buying a car. There was a study that was done, 87%. Which means 87% of the world dislikes it. If I show you how to be part of that 13% that enjoys it, I got a customer for life.
Man, we should open a car dealership. I am not joking. We could disrupt the whole industry.
So to your point,
if we create a relationship and make them feel good, man.
What do you think that experience is? How do you deliver that to somebody, the 13% of the world who has a great experience? What do you think they're getting from you that they're not getting from the rest of the other 87%?
Trust.
Yeah. Education?
Trust, education, positioning yourself as the trusted resource. I mean, here's the thing. All three of you strike me as people who go to a lot of networking events and functions. I'm going to turn it back to you. How many car salesmen have you ever met that consistently show up?
No.
Yeah. Huge opportunity. So unfortunately, it's the second biggest purchase that most people ever make, yet most people don't have a trusted car salesman on speed dial. The onboarding process in the car business is usually very transactional. Salespeople are taught to rely on dealer-generated opportunities, internet leads from the auto shows, internet leads on used cars that are there. But you're in the convincing business. Yeah. And when you're in the convincing business, it's transactional. And now the likelihood of you closing something on the spot is this. But if you actually go out and plant seeds, your closing ratio is this.
So now I'm going to sidetrack you because, you're my AI guy.
Sure.
You're telling me old school stuff, networking, meet people in person, shake hands, but what can they do online?
I love this too. So in a very simple concept, find out what people want and give it to them. Now, people exchange money to solve problems. For example, like we joined a chamber of commerce to solve the problem of lack of visibility. Pretty simple, right? So what we can do is we can use AI as our thinking partner. In this case, I'm going to go over an example how to use it for market research. If we exchange money to solve problems, all I have to do is go on ChatGPT and type in, what are 5 problems that would cause somebody to consider listing their home for sale in 2025? The problem is what makes the phone ring because that creates the situation, and the situation is what drives the sale. For example, if I woke up today and my car didn't start, I have a problem that my car doesn't start, which creates a situation of, man, I have a podcast in a few hours and I need to get somewhere. Yep. Who gets the sale? Uber. So we reverse engineer what makes the phone ring, and now I can have dialogue or chat with ChatGPT and build on that. I can build on that and say, give me an audience that is most likely to experience said problem. Now I have a problem that makes the phone ring and an audience that's most likely to experience it, and then I can do what you are already doing, and that is make video content saying if you're the kind of person that is in blank situation, here's what you should know, pick up the phone, let's chat. And now you've just created an opportunity for you to possibly sell by solving a problem and positioning yourself as the trusted resource. So that's how we modernize it. And the best part, man, all this is free. All that you need is an internet connection and a free account on ChatGPT. So there's no lack of resources in the world. There really isn't.
And your social media is all free too, as
it
of
is.
today.
It's
crazy.
Most people are always asking, how do I market myself? How do I do this? How do I get leads? Leads are out there.
Yeah.
It's very easy. Just go out there, talk to people, tell them what you do, and be normal, right? Just be you. Be a real person. Explain to somebody what you do. Like, you can solve anyone's problem if you just tell them what you're looking to do for them.
Or just look at it like, when you watch TV commercials, right? Now you could put literally your commercial on this device. You know what I mean?
It's free advertising.
It's free.
Free advertising.
Here's the crazy thing. Not only is it free, before I tell you the stat, if you had to take a guess, how many hours a day do you think on average we spend on social media?
I'm going to go with that.
With how much?
I'm going to go with
at least an hour.
Yeah, so there's a few studies that are out there, about 2.5 hours a day. That may not seem like much, but let's build that over the course of a year. 2.5 hours over the course of a year, 36 days a year. That's what we spend on these things, and it's free. So it's like if you are not just posting a handful of times a week, what are you doing?
I think especially if you're a business person, right? If you're a business and you're self-employed and like we're saying, the company could support you. Like here, we're XR Realty. We support a lot of our agents. We even provide video. We're doing a lot of stuff like that I'm doing. I'm making the agent do like, hey, copy and paste. I'll help you out. But there's a lot of companies where you don't get a lot of that support. Then take advantage of the free social media. Take advantage of ChatGPT for free. Take advantage of all these stuff and post. Even if you screw up, little by little, it'll get better.
I would say, though, that's because you're the leader of XR Realty, right? You're providing that leadership to your realtors. Both of you guys, right? Both of you are the leaders of XR Realty. You're leading by example.
100%.
And most people don't follow unless the leaders lead, right? So you guys are out there doing that firsthand. And the people are behind you or in front of you or next to you side by side.
Yes.
I always say we don't work for you, we work with you. Right?
Yes.
So we all work together for the same place. We help each other grow. And you're helping your entire team grow just by doing what you're doing every day.
It's all stuff that I'm doing. Like, I'm not going to teach them stuff that I'm not doing.
Yeah, we tell them it's their business.
But sometimes, what is a realtor? A realtor is an independent contractor, right? So if you tell them what to do, they don't legally have to listen to you, right?
No, we tell people, like, hey, this is your business.
Yeah.
He's in production, I'm in production. I'm not gonna. If you don't produce, you're the one who doesn't eat, not me.
Right.
I'm making. So I'm like, well, we want you to succeed. It's better for all of us if you succeed.
100%.
But if you don't succeed, you're not gonna stay here. You're not gonna do anything. You're gonna move on and have to.
But you have a great culture here at XR Realty. You have 36 agents right now. You guys are growing. It's fantastic. Your goal is to get, what, 100, 150 by next year?
Yeah, we're not like goal looking for a certain number. We want to just keep the same culture. We want to keep the same.
Yeah, we always, my thing, always do a little bit better than the year before. That's all.
That's all.
You know, that's how I look like. You know, I don't want to like be unrealistic with the goals. But yeah, we do have that culture. You know, that's why the whole X factor in the realty transaction is the realtor.
Nice.
That's where the X came from. That's why we call XR. But you got to lead by example, you know, and it's proven, like a lot of stuff that we're doing, you know, that I'm doing, and the agents that do apply all that stuff, they're turning deals. They're branding themselves. They're becoming different agents.
Would you say the agents that are doing it are closing 3 to 5 more deals per year because of the marketing that they're doing, or maybe more? Maybe not to put a number to it. Let's just say per month.
Yeah, I got a couple examples as of right now per month.
That's a true testament that every realtor out there should be noticing that realtors that are posting on social are closing 3 to 5 deals per month or per year extra, just because they're marketing themselves, branding themselves, using ChatGPT like Ellen teaches.
And besides social, right? There's like, you know, there's certain discipline you got to follow, right? We're still living in that world where we got old school and new school. Right. We're still in that transition. Our kids, maybe when they become realtors, maybe they don't have to do that. They'll do all online. But right now, you still got to do the networking event. You still got to do. There's certain stuff that we do with the clients, entertaining, mailers. You know, there's certain stuff, calls, plus the social, and all that helps to take you to a different level. And you got
to know how to do the job.
Yeah,
you can't just.
You got to educate yourself. You got to learn.
Yeah, you got to learn.
Of course, you can't be.
You got to pick up the phone.
Dumb. Sorry, if you're dumb, people are gonna notice.
Oh, I know.
And you're gonna go out of business.
I know.
People are not stupid.
I think the problem with realtors now today is the adaptation to the adoption of old technology versus new technology. You just have to learn to adapt to everything. Little bit of everything. You don't have to do too much of anything. You can if you want to, if that's your thing. But as long as you do just a little bit of everything, you're gonna progress. But if you don't do the new technology, using the new tools, ChatGPT, posting on social, you will get left behind. Unfortunately, 100%. It's not that we want that, but you will, because people won't notice you anymore.
100%. So Frank, I can't believe we're 50, man. Number 50.
We're not 50 years old.
No, okay. No, I'm not 50. No, 50 podcast. The number 50. Yeah, and we have Francesco and Alan here, and I had a question, Alan, just because you're the expert of AI and branding. What am I doing? Because I was reading your stuff too, right? And I know you kind of have it like nailed down, exactly what you should do to develop your personal brand. Am I doing everything right? Am I doing something wrong? What do you think?
If I could be real direct with you,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something wrong that you're doing. You're checking off all the boxes, man. You're using humor, you're using education, you're adding value, you are showcasing reviews. Keep doing what you're doing, and that's why you're getting the results that you're getting.
Thank you. Great. That's awesome. So am I doing, what about that, because I know you're teaching, I see a lot, I've seen your videos, so I checked you out, of course. I make sure I educate myself.
Did you Google him?
I did Google him. I told ChatGPT who he was, So, and I heard about this sorry for my English, but what's all this heat thing?
Definitely. So really what it is, it's the blueprint for building a personal brand that does the selling for you. Here's what it'll allow you to do though, is you literally have the ability to meet somebody in person one time, connect with them on social media, and based off of what you post, they warm up to you over time. So what's cool is, as I mentioned, you're checking off all the boxes on here. If it's cool with you, can I do a deep dive on exactly why this is working?
Of course, yeah, do it.
So let's shed some context. Here's the cool thing about you in a leadership role, and again, this is why you have the culture that you guys do here, and we were talking about this on the camera break, is you don't build a business, you build people. And the people are the ones who build your business. And if right now everything's becoming increasingly automated and people are starving for human connection, if you show your personality in your marketing, it's when it really connects. So what I came up with is this thing called the HEAT method, which combines 4 elements: humor, education, adding value, and trust. And when you check off all of these boxes, people warm up to you over time. So let's shed some context. We're in a world right now where everybody's busy and stressed out. To bring the stats on this, according to CNBC, when surveyed, 90% of America right now say that finances impact their stress level. Inflation's kicking everybody in the chops, which then means to maintain the same lifestyle that we're used to, we have to work harder or we have to work smarter. which according to SHRM, the Society of Human Resource Management, 44% of the workplace right now says that they are experiencing workplace burnout. So think of it like this. Social media is a tool. You are either using it or it is using you. And the reason why your audience is likely on that platform is so that they can be entertained. Now, to paint the contrast here, if you as the salesperson, I'm talking to you, if you as the salesperson are here to sell and promote and your audience is here to be entertained, massive disconnect. All that changes though when you can advertise in an entertaining way. So it's interesting though, and when we dive deeper on the science of using humor, it's not about being funny. It's about creating a connection. So to do a deeper dive, there's 3 hormones that are released when somebody laughs. Number 1 is oxytocin, which is often referred to as the trust hormone. And if we do business with those who we know, like, and trust, by making somebody laugh, you just sped up that process. The second thing though is dopamine. That's the feel-good hormone. According to Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank, I was watching a podcast the other day, and he said, good salespeople sell features. Great salespeople sell outcomes, and the really, really, really great salespeople, they sell feelings. If you can make somebody feel good, they're going to remember you. And the third hormone that is released is cortisol. That's actually decreased. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And if you can de-stress somebody, make them feel good, and make them trust you just by using humor, it is truly a superpower. And you're meeting somebody where they're at. So I'll give you an example, and here's a website that you can do this. Don't ever underestimate the power of using a meme in your marketing. So although I can't showcase this right now, I want you to think. Visualize a picture of a burning dumpster fire. A burning dumpster fire with the caption that says, how it feels when you sell your home below market value. Now what you've done, you've created a short and punchy message that showcases, hey, I can help you on the buying side, on the selling side, forgive me, if you want to sell your home for top dollar. You've blended humor with a advertising message. But here's the thing. Again, it's not about being funny, it's about creating a connection, and that's one of the reasons why I love what you're doing with your humorous reels. Somebody may not need your product or service now, but they say, you know what? I'd at least give this guy a shot if I was. So now they become receptive to the second part, which is education. We talked about how people exchange money to solve problems. If that's the case, you're no longer a salesperson, you're a guide. A guide is a resource, and when you are a resource, people want to pick your brain. When they pick your brain, you've just now generated a lead, but you've been able to do that by being able to solve a problem. So it's interesting, think of it like this. When you sell, you break rapport. The conversation just gets weird if I try to sell you something. But if I educate, now all of a sudden I build rapport. When you sell, you break rapport. When you educate, you build it because it becomes your idea to engage with me. When you put the two of those together, humor and education, now your audience says this person's cool. But all jokes aside, they can actually help me. Now, what's interesting is when you do these market update videos, what you're doing, you're using education in your marketing. You are positioning yourself as the approachable authority. The trusted resource is great, but that only works if somebody actually feels comfortable reaching out to you. So if you just do those two things, here's what happens. You move from the logic category to the instinct category. I will tell you, trying to sell off of logic alone, it's exhausting because people rely on data, comparisons. They have to do their due diligence. And then they have information overload and they hit you with our favorite line. You know what? I don't know what it is, but I just need to go and think about it. I'll tell you, there's been multiple times in the car business where somebody has come in and said, I am looking for a black-on-black SUV, and here's my payment. I've come in lower than their desired payment, waved a magic wand, found the exact car, and found a way to get them 0% financing, and they've still said, you know what, Alan? I just need to go home and think about it. On the other hand, when you're in the instinct category, everything changes. Instinct, somebody instinctually says, you know what, I don't know what it is. I like this guy's energy. I feel like he can help me. Again, world-class salespeople, they sell feelings. There's been times in the car business where somebody has come in and said, you know what, I know I'm $15,000 upside down on this car and I have to lower my payment, but something about this just feels right. Even though My payment is going up. It's not my job to talk them out of it. Okay, cool. Sign here and here. So the idea is if you just do those two things, that's half of the battle. Adding value, though, is how you get everybody to start talking about you. Now, do you know who Alex Hormozi is? Alex Hormozi is one of the biggest marketers in the game. I highly recommend that you guys buy this guy's book. Alex Hormozi, definitely follow him on social media. But to steal a quote out of one of his books, when you introduce something of value to somebody, they associate that value with you. You become the source. Prime example here. If you're watching this, you heard about me through his podcast, which means if you actually use the heat method, now all of a sudden it works for you. You will associate that with him. You becomes the source. So what's interesting here is if you introduce all kinds of things that you personally use, this could be do-it-yourself hacks, this could be vacation ideas, market insight, restaurant happy hours, documentaries, whatever it is, you've kind of created this spider web around your network where you've become the central hub. Now you become omnipresent. But the thing is, free value leads to trust. Right. People do business with those who they know, like, and trust. You can instinctually have somebody feeling like, you know what, I should give you the shot to do business with, but they're still wondering, is this guy legit or is he a con artist? So we need to verify social proof. How do we do it? Collecting and repurposing reviews. And if you don't have your own website, you can go on LinkedIn and ask for a recommendation, which is a personal review, and it lives right on their profile. So when you combine humor, people say, you know what, this person's not all business, they're cool. Education, now I know I should call you should I experience blank situation. Adding value, this person's not trying to sell me something, they're trying to serve, and then they verify with the social proof. So if you want to make a big impact with your marketing on a small budget, all you got to do is drop some heat.
I love it.
Awesome.
No, but it's so true. If it's so true, because if you think about Frank, do you feel like you're a salesperson?
No, I never. Actually, when I was growing up, what you want to do is like, I don't want to do anything in sales.
Actually, if we could say it, you were pretty bad in sales.
Yeah,
for previous jobs, right? I was.
Oh yeah, I didn't like selling. I'm selling. I'm not gonna go knock on someone, try to sell them like a car salesman. I don't think I would do. I mean, I or something. Yeah. I felt like I was more like, hey, this is someone they're looking for. Yeah. I'm just helping. I'm gonna help them out. Versus
like technically you were doing like, not all the way, but the heat method, if you think about it.
Yeah, the trust was the big thing.
The trust.
I didn't say I'd meet someone just trying to get them to trust me.
You got humor. You're cool.
Yeah, try to get them to trust me. Yeah. We do this like first meeting or whatever showings. Like we even tell people like, hey, for the first house, probably 99% chance they're not buying the first house you show them. So you don't need to go try and sell them that house. Like don't. Don't try to sell them that house unless it's like, if they start, you could tell them what you find wrong with it. You could get the trust. They're going to find out anyway what's wrong with it. So might as well just, if you see something, you just say it up front.
Especially, and I'll give some good, I share all my stuff and I'll share it to the audience too. The first meeting, right? Like the client, they're nervous. They don't know who you are, what's going on. You're going to scam them. And you start talking about forms and buyer agreement and you know what I mean? Like, calm down, take it easy, show them the house, be likable. And then little by little, you'll get to, all the forms that we're required to get, right? And if you're required to get some kind of, touring agreement or something, get something minimum just to create that relationship with them and try to get that, pressure off, that pressure off that they have at that moment.
Yeah, if you're trying to sell them, they're gonna immediately put up the walls and not sell them. So when you show them hey, I'm not trying to sell you here.
Correct.
Then they're like, okay, cool. This guy's just they relax and then they're more open with you and they actually talk more openly with you. Versus if you start to push, they'll start to tighten up and they're not very short answer. They don't and. I mean that's just how anyone would be, I think. So.
Well, you're sorry.
Oh no, you go.
You're there to build rapport with them, right? So you're getting to know them. You probably don't even know their last name yet, right?
No.
Just got a first name and a phone number. You're at the house and you're looking to talk to them. So it's pretty unconfrontational when you start saying, "Hey, can I get all these contracts?"
Correct.
So you break the barrier. You talk with them. You explain the process. You explain how we got to where we're at right now.
Right.
And that way because
sometimes, sorry for interrupting you, we're talking about education, over-educating too at the first meeting might be a little bit too much. So You know what I mean?
It's paralysis by analysis, right? Just
Yeah.
anytime you start giving people too much information too quickly, their brain just shuts down.
Yeah,
and
they're like,
they don't want to receive that information.
Correct.
But you go there, you meet with them, you explain the process, you have a written out process of an outline. Hey, the reason why we have to do this is because there was a settlement with NAR. This is the why.
Yeah.
This is the process.
Correct.
Here. The reason why we need this signed, and it can only be for one day too. It doesn't
Correct.
have to
That's
be
it.
for a year or a month or a week. Just one day, right?
Yes.
You explain that process, someone trusts you. Hey, this person's following a process. Because now flip that to the other side. If somebody doesn't follow the rules, do you want to work with that person, right? Because now you're theoretically breaking the law, and that's not what you want either,
Correct.
right? So you want to tell the consumer, here is the process. If someone is doing this without following this protocol, you're jeopardizing what you're walking into too. So you're doing the right thing by explaining it to them up front.
Yeah, you could explain it, but you could say like, hey, this is for audit purpose, right?
Right.
Like I tell everybody, all my agreements are cancel anytime. Even my listings.
Yeah.
My listings,
That's the way it should be.
my listings are cancel anytime. And I'm investing like $1,000 per listing because I'm doing the videos, social media, hiring people. But that's how it is. And they're like shocked. Because most of the offices that go there, they have fees to sign, put it on the MLS, fees if you cancel, fee for that.
If you're not providing the value, the service, the education to the consumer, fire me at any given point in time. Because if the trust is broken, the bond has been broken.
I agree.
And then we should, let's separate.
I agree.
Peacefully, right? Not every transaction is going to work out. I can assure you that you don't take every listing either, right? Because some listings are just not going to be a good fit. Right?
Depend, yeah.
Some buyers may not want to follow your protocol, right? So it's got to be compatible.
Correct.
Right? So it's like hardware and software, they both got to meet in the middle somewhere. Well,
yeah.
No, that's it. But that goes back, like the trust thing goes back to like the podcast and the social media, because then they get to know you, right? Versus just a card, a picture. They actually get to see your personality and get to know you a little bit, and then. So it's all everything's all connected. I think a lot of people look for the silver bullet. Like, what should I do? I get that all the time. What's the most important thing? If you had to pick one thing to do, what would it be? I'm like, I can't. It's everything.
It's a little bit of everything every day.
If you do all the social media in the world, you don't answer the phone, it's worthless.
For sure.
If you don't, you have to do it all.
I think there is one thing I could say. Yeah, be nice. Yeah. If you're just nice with people, you're going to attract. You're really going to, you have. Being nice, good energy, just being trustworthy. You're going to attract
genuine.
somebody. Genuine.
Just be truly
Let's
genuine.
use the word. Really, you're going to attract, by default.
Yeah, by default.
By default, you're going to close like 10 deals a year. I'm not saying you're going to bring another level and I'll bring you to like 30, 40, 50, have a real business.
That will, though,
but you're going to close
you'll get
like...
the referrals from those consumers or customers because they know you did such a great job for them. You took the extra time that they were looking for to help you get them to the next point. And you have how many reviews? I mean, you get a ton of reviews from your clients, right? That you're doing that for your people. So you're doing a great job already, right? And that's why people keep coming back to XR Realty.
I noticed the nice worked, and then I adapted systems, and I learned ways how to kind of like not be a secret agent,
right? And
create a personal brand. So that's what helped me over the years.
So you're not the 007 realtor that most realtors are, is what you're saying.
I'm not.
And that is a true thing, by the way. Most realtors are 007s because they don't want to go out there and put their brand out there. If you can't brand yourself as a realtor, how can you go and represent a seller and sell their property for them? If you can't put yourself out there first, how can you sell your seller's property?
That's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's true. I mean, how are you going to do it? If you're, right, Frank?
That's right.
I'm fine. I love putting Frank on the spot. We go back a long time.
Someone that's got like a big network and they feel like, I don't need to do social media.
It's a very interesting topic, and I think that's a very great question because there's a lot of realtors out there who are, let's just say...
I mean, 3/4 of your panelists the other month that I participated with.
What's the average age?
We're like that.
Let's go back.
They don't want to do social.
What do you think the average age of a realtor is?
I would say 45.
Yeah, I think, right? Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's kind of last.
I think closer to 55 or 56.
I think it's lower now, maybe the past couple of years, but it was.
And I can tell you, I think right now from what I'm seeing in the market research that I'm looking at, the younger generation of realtors who are just stepping into real estate are doing exactly what the older realtors who've been in the business 20, 30 plus years are not doing. which is getting on social, which is telling people what you do and how you do it and how you can help them do it just by being you and a person online. So expressing what you do quickly, 30 seconds, making a quick video.
But what about they're doing too much social, but they're not doing like a personal note? Like Alan said.
You got to
You know what I mean?
Like, got to do a little bit of everything. So I look at it like...
Because I've seen a lot of young agents, sorry to interrupt you, they're doing a lot online, but then, you know, they're not doing the basics.
They may not be doing the basics, but their clientele may not be looking for that either, right? So it's all perspective.
Okay, they're attracting their own tribe then.
Yeah.
Attracting
so little by little, I think they will go back around and possibly do that, right? But they're getting started early and quickly with video, social networking, meeting people, getting out there early, faster. What's the worst thing in the world people are the most feared of? Public speaking, right? Being on camera. Nobody feels comfortable on camera because it's not really natural just to sit in front of a camera.
Correct.
Or to get up in front of a crowd.
Correct.
They say it's as scary as being a skyscraper window cleaner. So getting up in front of a crowd, yes, I swear. So getting up in front of a crowd, talking to a room of 100 people, or cleaning skyscraper windows is comparable.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
so
crazy.
it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think what the generation of realtors that have been in business 20, 30 years, either they get on the bandwagon with social media and they start posting more, they start making video content and creation, explaining to their customers or past clients what they do and what they offer now, before it's too late. Because they're going to find someone else who's going to help them educate them, and they're not going to be their client in the future.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to lose them. Because I think at the end of the day, also, all of us, the new realtors, the old realtors, there's a lot of people in the industry, companies, big tech companies, are going after our job.
Yeah.
They're going to hire the robots. The robots are going to have AI, and they're going to be able to do showings and all that good stuff. And so if we're not relevant, we're just going to go away.
I will go back to what Alan said. It's having that trust and that personal touch. Because even though you can have a robot help you do some of the smaller details in between, you're still going to want someone to help solidify, hey, should I buy this house? That's a really good question.
That is true.
How many times has your client ever asked you, you think I should buy this house? Or would you buy this house?
A lot of times.
Right?
But the problem is
they validate. They want you to validate their decision.
Correct. But the thing I'm going back to, I'm agreeing with you on the personal brand. But if you don't personal brand yourself, the Zillow, the Redfin, the Homes, whatever, they're going to take over the client. Even if your client needs that personal touch, they don't know. They're just clicking. They're not going to an office anymore.
Yeah.
They're going on the website, and Zillow's paying most of the Zillow ads, the Google ads, to come up first, or the ChatGPT ads pretty soon to come up first. And the client is going there. So they're going to be control of the platform. What do you think is going to happen? When they have the control, they're going to just try to maximize their profit. Right now, they impose all the agents, fees to participate and structure to get kickbacks. Later on, they're going to find a technology where they need half of the agents. So that's why we have to stay relevant, not even to get new people, just to maintain our people that we already have. Or those people that we have are going to go away. They're going to go click on Zillow.
It's very true. Zillow, Redfin has done such a great job, and I would even say better than our board and Realtor.com has done for us in a while.
I think our board were stupid. They should have just created a good website. That's all they needed to do. Yeah. They needed to copy and paste what Redfin was doing. Just copy and paste it. Who cares? And just do something similar.
They could still do it if they wanted to.
So the moment you lost control of your own listings, right? Where now you had a third-party agency selling space of your listing next to other agents paying for paid marketing.
Yeah.
That's when you lost control.
Yeah.
Because they are a lead gen company. They're not a real estate company.
Yeah.
Although most of these companies are leading towards becoming real estate companies in the future. Zillow's working on it. Redfin already is, right? They're great companies. They provide a great product, but they're also taking the listings that you have provided and they're using it as a lead gen platform.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not, you got to embrace technology, embrace the new sites. I'm not a hater against them. It is what it is. They're good business people.
I mean, They put out a good product,
It's
and I
business.
think that's what people want.
It's a game.
They want a good product.
Yeah.
So we have to keep up with how do we provide a good product alongside.
So
with
far they're winning, but I'm saying for us, going back to personal brand, we have to stay relevant. We have to do all this stuff, or we will go away. You will go away. You're just not going to exist. That's it. Or you're just going to work for them as an employee.
Very true.
And that's it. So that's what it comes down to. But another question before I know we talked about a lot of stuff today, but now, because I know you're in the mortgage business, right?
Correct.
So are you guys doing the same thing like we're doing in the real estate side, the car salesperson?
We are trying to do the same exact thing.
Okay.
So, I mean, Fairway Independent Home Mortgage is a leading company in the mortgage space right now. So, I mean, they are doing the same thing. Every company is using AI to its fullest capabilities.
What about personal brand?
Personal branding? Well, I mean, we are doing that as a group. Our company has some really amazing leaders.
Do you allow mortgage person to personal brand themselves? Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, they can brand themselves. They can provide what they do and how they do it.
Okay.
I mean, they're basically going out there, putting themselves out there on camera. They can talk about their brand, their products, their services, how they can educate the consumer, and hey, what type of loans you're looking for, or if you're looking to get through that, absolutely.
Yeah.
They can. They can promote themselves.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
You're in a sales business. You're in a commission role-based business. You should be able to go out there and promote yourself.
I mean, you should, but a lot of
most people don't.
Yeah.
Right? Why? Because they're either afraid of what they're going to say, or they're afraid of what they look like when they do say it.
Correct.
But most importantly, it's just like another human conversation between me and you, or you and a client. It's the same conversation.
Yeah, everybody got to build their confidence too, right? People don't care how you look. And if they say something, we'll say, okay, F you. Who cares? Whatever.
Like I said earlier,
just move on. That's it.
You don't have to,
And a lot of times the imperfect stuff, the bad stuff, is what actually gets the eyeballs.
Yes.
So there's great attention.
I had a text. I did a post and everything. And it's funny, now I do posts and people, I know they're looking, because when I get a text from somebody random like, hey, your hashtag is wrong. Or
you used the wrong emoji.
Yeah, wrong emoji, or I don't know, anything like your suit was stained, or dude, it's crazy.
See, people think you have to be perfect.
It's great, yeah, they do, but I love it.
We're not trying to be perfect.
No
one out there is perfect, right? So we're just out there being different, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be complacent. I like getting out of my comfort space, right? Doing something different every day.
Yeah.
I try to learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I try to teach my kids something new every day. So as long as we're doing 1% better every day, you're going to be a better person no matter what.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you just help people all the time genuinely, your business comes naturally.
I agree. And then you're going to attract the people that are going to like you. That's it. There's so much business out there. Oh, for sure. So even if you're going to lose some that doesn't like your, I don't know, my blue jacket today.
I think that's a really nice jacket.
That's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Is that a coffee stand?
That's fine. You lose them,
It builds character.
Like,
it builds character. And I think people try to do that on purpose. So they try to break your character.
Oh, 100%.
And they think that you're doing this because you're not being real. Good. But you are probably the most real person you can be.
Yeah,
right? So you're just being you. Don't let anyone try to
say,
because there's always going to be a negative person out
100%.
there who's going to try to bring you down.
100%.
Ignore them.
Yeah.
Just ignore.
But anybody new out there that getting into sales and everything, and your confidence not there, and you're just scared about how you look, or how you just be you.
Yeah.
And just do it.
Just don't be afraid. Get out there and do it.
Yeah.
It's going to feel really uncomfortable and unnatural.
Yep.
It could be 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. You can go the rest of your life and feel uncomfortable doing it. You just have to get out there and do it, or you're going to get left behind.
Yep, that's pretty. Frank, what's going on? You got any more comments here? But anyways, I think episode 50 was pretty lit. I want to say, Do you say lit in English? I'm sorry,
You're going to get some more hate mail for that, too.
You get hate mail for lit? That's not good. I'm sorry.
I don't know. The kids are using the word slay. Have you heard that
one?
Oh,
slay, yeah.
I think episode 50 was slay, right?
I think it was, but you were, if we're going to that topic, you were a slay queen.
Oh, come on.
For episode 50, you were a slay.
Come here.
You're a slay queen. I learned that recently, too,
That was fantastic. I want to say thank you to XR Realty, Frank, and Greg. Alan,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Carlos,
Yeah.
everyone here today. This
Yeah.
was pretty amazing.
It was pretty
I
cool.
want to say thank you very much for having us here today with you.
I think we're gonna have a part 2 eventually, because this was really good and we talked so much and there's much more to cover.
Yep.
So, but with that, episode 50 is over. Ciao, ciao.
Okay.
to